parinirvana, his final moments in the world of form. Shortly after visiting this site and making this diary entry, Merton died unexpectedly, killed by an electric shock from a fan in his hotel room. But there is no question, to my mind at least, that this Catholic monk had had a glimpse of what it means not just to see the Buddha, but to see as a Buddha. And I would like to close with reading this entry. A low outcrop of rock with a cave cut into it, and besides the cave, a big seated Buddha on the right, and Ananda, I guess, standing by the head of the reclining Buddha. I am able to approach the Buddhas barefoot and undisturbed, my feet in wet grass, wet sand. Then the silence of the extraordinary faces, the great smiles, huge and yet subtle, filled with every possibility, questioning nothing, knowing nothing, rejecting nothing. The peace not of emotional resignation, but of shunyata, that has seen through every question without trying to discredit anyone or anything, without refutation, without establishing some other argument. Looking at the figures, I was suddenly, almost forcibly, jerked clean out of the habitual half-tide vision of things, and an inner clearness, clarity, as if exploding from the rocks themselves, became evident and obvious. The queer evidence of the reclining figure, the smile, the sad smile of Ananda standing with arms folded. The thing about all this is that there is no puzzle, no problem, and really no mystery. All problems are resolved and everything is clear simply because what matters is clear. The rock, all matter, all life, is charged with Dharmakaya. With everything is emptiness and everything is compassion. I do not know when in my life I have ever had such a sense of beauty and spiritual validity running together in one aesthetic illumination. I don't know what else remains, but I have now seen and pierced through the surface and got behind and beyond the shadow and the disguise. It says everything, it needs nothing. And because it needs nothing, it can afford to be silent, unnoticed, undiscovered. It does not need to be discovered. It is we who need to discover it.
Since everything is always in motion, our schedule is a little bit changed, but we're flowing along. Thank you, Dr. Grant, for your eloquent words. It's always a pleasure to listen to you and to hear what you have to say. I think that what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll do a little bit of question and answer. And then after that, where is our flautist? Do you go by flautist or flutist? Hard to know. You're right. And perhaps if you're flexible and we'll do some flouting or fluting after the question and answer between that and the meditation, that will service our plan a little bit better in terms of our schedule, if that's okay. So thank you for being flexible. So I don't know how if you're setting up some seating for the question and answer. Were you going to put some chairs out for that, or how are you going to do it? Have them stand? Okay. Oh, very good. Okay. Yes. So if you come up, I guess. I have no answers. If that's the best type of answer. I'm still thinking about what to do about the Buddha who gets smoke blowing in his face. I'm trying to figure that one out. So yes. So they're going to come and stand together here at the podium and take the questions. So that's really good. We can go ahead and do that. And as you come up, let me just think of a couple of extra people here, because I would like to specially mention Lisa Harper Chan, who is the liaison for the cooperation of the Buddhist Council and this exhibit. And of course to thank Francesca for her hospitality, and also to thank Carrie and Yoga for coming to all of our Buddhist Council meetings wherever they were held. So very happy that was Carrie Ann here today. Did you see someone with you? Okay. So Francesca will pass it on to you. We appreciate it. So if you come up and
Actually, I'm happy to entertain questions. I'm sure Dr. Wu is as well. But I almost prefer to hear people talk about their responses to some of the objects in the paintings and the words and music. If people would like to sort of share some of their responses to what they've seen or heard now or before or whatever, and that would be more of a discussion. Hopefully they have some answers. But first, if there are any specific questions that we could address.
I'm kind of a little short. Can I take that off? Because whenever that I give classes, I say, hey, there is no volunteer, must be a victim there. Because I pointed at someone, say, come over, say something. So that I don't want you to be the victim, so I come over as a volunteer. That I think that as a monastic, people come to our temple always ask, hey, you're Buddhist, you're superstitious, because you bow to a Buddhist idol. We don't. We just believe. I said, yes, we bow to the Buddha statue. When you were young, probably at your age right now, you have the poster hanging in your room. Tom Cruise? I don't know. You just don't bow to that person. Just, that's my idol. But whenever we bow to this idol, we just love it. Because in Buddhism, we believe everyone has a nature. We call it Buddha nature. Just like a man. This is the curator, Francesca. She needs a man. This is Dr. Grant. She needs a name, just like me. We need a name to be recognized. And that, so we have a name for this ability we call the Buddha nature. We bow to the Buddha. But in Buddhism, we encourage everyone to bow to ourselves. Because that when we bow to the Buddha nature, that we make a commitment to ourselves. Hey, that human being has the ability, capacity, and possibility to attain enlightenment, just like this guy sitting down here. And the first bow, we bow to the Buddha and say, hey, I would like to observe my mind, discipline my mind. Talking about the mind, a few days ago, I don't think it's an excuse, but as I came to America, I need to learn English. But I couldn't get a teacher. So he would tell me, hey, watch TV. Watch TV will be good. But I had to be very, very careful. Because a couple days ago, I watched the TV. Actually, I watched the news, but anyway, during every episode, there is a kind of advertisement. Before Halloween, I saw that the very first time, I think, oh God, that is really cute. A little boy came to the door. There was a basket full of candy. But there was a sign, 1 candy per person. If you were a little kid, you can read. So you were even more judgment. He took one, really hesitant. He won't go, just stay there. And rushed by a little girl, get a handful of candy from the bucket. And the little boy said, hey, he says 1 candy per person. And the little girl said, I can't read. Get a handful of candy and run away. The very first time, I think the cute boy and cute girl, they are cute. But as a Buddhist, by watching TV, can I be mindfulness? wrong. I can commit, violate the law. So that the first vow of the Buddha, I make a commitment to myself, make mindfulness, observe my mind. But if you see, I made a mistake also. The very first time I saw that advertisement, I think they were so cute. But second time, see, I'm mindfulness. I know how to observe my mind. I said, oh, if I was a little girl, I'm wrong. So first of all, about ourselves. We are human beings, just like Dr. Grant said. We need visual stimulation to remind us, I have an ability just like you. You are trying to enlightenment. And second law, I vow to the Buddha that I want to concentrate to have the mind and then the body step together. Let me ask you, in our lifetime, how many times you say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. We say something, but we didn't mean it. That means the mind and body is separate. So, in our lifetime, we take the responsibility of life and serve God. I believe I have the wisdom, just like the Buddha. As I discipline my mind, as I concentrate on my mind, then the wisdom of my mind will reveal, just like you. That's why we need a Buddha's teaching. No matter it's a carving from a wood, it's a statue by stone, or it's a picture. Just like you will salute to American flag. Not because it's close. It's a symbol of American spirit. And to us, it's a symbol of myself. That's why we bow. So next time, when you come to our temple, don't be worried. I'm not going to force you to bow. I'm just going to explain to you the beauty of it. Thank you so much for your attention. And thank you for allowing me to share with you.
Is there anybody else? Anybody else would like to say a few words? You don't have to get up and come here. I can take the microphone.
No, I got one.
Oh, you got one?
Yep.
Is there anyone for whom this is the first time they've seen images of this kind? No, everyone's seen it. I think everyone is in a meditative mood, right? That's a question. Yeah.
Is empty itself? In emptiness. Is empty itself?
You mean me?
Yes. Is emptiness empty?
Is
emptiness empty?
Maybe. Yes, me empty. Let me try to answer. It's a very good question. As I understand, many persons translate the Chinese character into emptiness. But as I understand, it may not accurate the meaning, take the meaning of the Chinese character called the meaning, as I understand, original calm means every phenomenon keeps changing continuously. So I'm not quite sure emptiness has the same meaning. But let me say, the calm, if we interpret the something within three aspects: the nature, the appearance, and its function. So, as I learned from the Dharma or the Buddha's teaching, if something which has a nature, how to say, what I put here, no come and not going, that means its nature is always there, but its appearance will change due to the environmental condition changes. And because its appearance is different, so its function also different. We call this property is calm. So I'm not quite sure calm can be calm, but it just says all phenomena in this world is always changing. If we cannot handle the environmental conditions, and then we cannot handle what it will be. Therefore, if we want to keep our mind calm and peaceful, we have to accept every phenomenon decided by the environmental conditions with pleasure and happiness. So that's what I understand. I hope I answered your question. Thank you very much.
Want to take a break?
So another view, if I may give another view. Oh, Dr. Koch has if Dr. Koch has another view. Question, go for it.
To answer Dr. Grant, you mentioned Thomas Merton was awed by the big statue. What do you think about the role of art in conveying deep message beyond words sometimes when you were studying? And how does it help in keeping Buddhism lasting this long compared to other religions? They have different form of art and so on, like the Buddhist Torah and so on. Can you comment on that? Would it help in make Buddhism lasting this long, or in help art in conveying the message?
Again, I'm not an art historian, but I think art is one of many different kinds of images. So a painting or a sculpture tells a story, but so does a text, right? So traditions say in the Islamic tradition, where iconography or the image of Muhammad or the deity is not supposed to be used, the text, okay, is kind of the image that preserves and carries on the tradition. I think the art is particularly important in Buddhism because from what I've read, the stories that are told in the artistic tradition sometimes predate what was actually written down in the text. Okay? So they were actually conveyed on these sculptures and friezes, the story, even before it was written down. So it almost preceded the story. So there's a close interconnection between the two. But again, I think all religious traditions have images. That's what I said. I remember someone asked me, is it possible to see just pure light or pure Dharmakaya? And I said, from what I gather, it's not. And someone told me once of an analogy. Analogies are always good. If you go into a big building, say the Pulitzer had lots of windows, okay, or a big church, but each window was different. Some windows were very intricately colored and like mosaics, very beautiful. Some were just plain white glass. Another one would just have one figure. They'd all be sort of different windows. And yet the light that is reflected through all of those windows is actually the same. Okay? But as human beings, we can't see the light directly, at least not with our eyes, with our rational minds. But we have to see through some sort of window, some sort of lens. Does that make sense? So I think art is that kind of window. So some people, even in these pictures, objects, some people maybe feel more drawn, say, to the very sort of austere figure of Ananda, while others may look at the Tibetan mandala and say, oh, I like this one, with all the embroidery and the color. Okay? Some may be drawn more to the sculpture, some more to another form or another medium. Again, that notion of skillful means, which is so central to especially Mahayana Buddhism, that there are 84,000 different means that the Buddha employs, right? Because we all have 84,000 views and afflictions and suffering. So all of these are different means. So the more variety is, the more colors, the more shapes, the more forms, I think the more apt it is to